Roman Reigns and Jey Uso betrayed Jimmy Uso. The Rock finally addresses steroid allegations after a shocking transformation. The Rock suffers a legitimate concussion. Andrade returns to AEW. How will WWE respond to Andrade signing with AEW? Tickets for John Cena's final match come with absolutely insane price tags. WWE's lack of planning for John Cena's farewell tour is atrocious. Bret Hart's criticism of Triple H as a WWE wrestler addressed. Roman Reigns has no credible rivals. Why Roman Reigns ignored Jimmy Uso. Let's dive right in. The Rock finally addresses steroid allegations after a shocking transformation. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson stands as a WWE powerhouse, but his fresh, leaner build has kicked up major talk online. After months of guesses, the final boss just shut down claims about steroids. The Rock turned heads with a big weight drop at the Venice Film Festival, confusing fans big time. The 53-year-old actor went through a wild body change, packing on 30 pounds to play Mark Kerr in The Smashing Machine. Now he's shed about 60 pounds to step into a 70-something role as the Chicken Man in Benny Safdie's next film, Lizard Music. A few weeks back, fitness fan Alex Diago hit Instagram with a video saying The Rock's muscle fade came from quitting steroids. The final boss fired back in the comments on Diago's post, "This is 100% not true. Whether Dwayne Johnson ever touched steroids is a chat for another time." Dwayne Johnson hasn't stepped into the WWE ring much since he and Roman Reigns beat Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a tag team fight on WrestleMania 40 Night 1. He stirred up old heat with the American Nightmare earlier this year, but it went nowhere fast. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins think The Rock still has a few matches in him. Saudi Arabia is said to be pushing hard to lock in the final boss for WrestleMania 43 in 2027. The Brahma Bull will be almost 55 years old by the time the show of shows hits Riyadh. For now, no plans sit in place for him to come back anytime soon. He got tied to a return at Survivor Series, War Games on November 29th, but those whispers got shot down by Ringside News. It looks like the WWE crowd has to hold tight a bit longer to see him back in the ring. The Rock suffers a legitimate concussion. The Rock just spilled that he took a real concussion after pushing his co-star to hit him hard during filming. The WWE legend is playing UFC and Pride Fighting Championships vet Mark Kerr in the Smashing Machine movie, which dives into Kerr's rise in MMA. The Rock got a taste of the real thing on set. On The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, he shared how intense his training got to make the film feel legit, piling on muscle and aiming for raw, real-looking scenes. One moment had the Brahma Bull recreating Kerr's actual fight in Japan against Kazuyuki Fujita, where Kerr was down on all fours eating strikes. "So I told the fighter I was working with, 'Hey brother, I know it sounds crazy, but you've got to hit me. You have to hit me.' And he is a Japanese fighter, very respectful. He said, 'No, I will not hit you.' He refused to hit me, and I finally said, 'Please, we have one shot at this. You must hit me,' he said. It took director Benny Safdie stepping in to convince the fighter to swing for real to match what Kerr went through. That call led to The Rock taking a legit concussion. So you'll see in the movie he's rocking me over and over and over again. It was wild. After that fight, you see me I look like I'm loopy. That's because I had a concussion," he admitted. Andrade returns to AEW. AEW Dynamite's October 1st anniversary show in Florida packed a punch with its lineup, and one return that shook everything up. After Kenny Omega and Brodito grabbed a strong win over the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander, the post-match scene exploded into madness. The Young Bucks pounced on Kenny Omega the second the bell rang, hammering him before Jack Perry and Luchasaurus charged down to break it up. The human dinosaur cleared the ring with Perry's help, but the team-up turned sour fast. Omega got right in Jack Perry's face after the save, and the two traded sharp words and pushes in the ring's center. Then the lights dropped. When they flickered back on, Andrade stood there. In a stunning twist, he nailed Kenny Omega with a hard hit, then fell in with the Don Callis family right in front of the shocked Florida crowd. This is Andrade's first big moment since leaving WWE, sending a clear signal he's ready to charge ahead. Last month, Andrade made it clear he was free from WWE. The company stayed quiet, but reports said he'd been eased out of shows weeks earlier. Sports Illustrated's The Takedown even noted he got walked out of a WWE taping over a backstage problem linked to a quiet suspension no one owned up to. His last WWE fight was at SummerSlam, teaming with Rey Fenix in a six-pack TLC for the Tag Team Championships. His AEW return, tying up with Don Callis' group, shows he's done holding back. He's grabbing the spotlight now. Andrade's quick strike puts Omega in hot water and shakes up AEW's balance of power. Linking with Don Callis kicks off a new era for the crew, one that could lift Andrade to the top fast while sparking fresh fights for Omega and anyone crossing their path. Do you think Andrade picking the Don Callis family was the smart play for his AEW start? How will WWE respond to Andrade signing with AEW? Andrade's jump back to AEW hit like a thunderbolt, especially after WWE cut him loose on September 13th, 2025, just last month. He had only come back to WWE at the Royal Rumble 2024. He stepped up for a match at WrestleMania 40, teaming with Rey Mysterio against Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. His final WWE bout came at SummerSlam 2025, where he paired with Rey Fenix in the six-pack tag team tables, ladders, and chairs match. Right after, the company let him go. Andrade's switch to AEW also feels like a slap to WWE. The Jacksonville crew outplayed the Stamford team by snagging one of their own stars. To hit back, Triple H and his group will need to make some bold plays. Here are 3 ways WWE can fire back at Andrade's AEW move. The first step Triple H could take to counter Andrade's AEW return is pulling in ex-AEW Women's World Champion Paige, aka Saraya Brevis. The former title holder left the Jacksonville promotion earlier this year, wrapping up her 3-year stint there. Paige has been a powerhouse in WWE's women's side. She claimed the first NXT Women's Championship. She also held the WWE Divas Championship twice. She stepped away from the ring in 2018 due to neck troubles. For a time, she served as SmackDown general manager. In 2022, she headed to AEW, but now Paige wants back in WWE. In her recent chat on the Busted Open Radio podcast, she said she misses the show. It'll be worth watching how Triple H brings her into the fold again. Another way WWE could strike back at Andrade's AEW move is reuniting Rey Fenix and Penta on the roster. Both ex-AEW stars have hit WWE already, but the company hasn't paired them yet. Penta works on Monday Night Raw, while Rey Fenix sticks to the SmackDown side. Talk has swirled that the brother pair, who always wrestled as a unit, might link up again in WWE. This could speed up now with Andrade's AEW shift. Rey Fenix might slide over to Raw and team with Penta, then challenge Finn Balor and JD McDonough for the WWE World Tag Team Championship. WWE can also give Santos Escobar, head of the Legado del Fantasma, Angel and Berto crew, a real push on SmackDown. Santos Escobar has talent to burn, but he's been underused on the show. With so many tag teams crowding SmackDown, Legado del Fantasma and Santos Escobar have faded into the mix. The company could lift Santos Escobar as Andrade's stand-in and hand him the spotlight he needs. Tickets for John Cena's final match come with absolutely insane price tags. John Cena's goodbye match is turning into one of WWE's most expensive shows ever. If you want a spot up close, brace yourself for a huge bill. WWE and On Location just dropped the ticket details for Cena's final fight at Saturday night's main event on December 13th, 2025 in Washington, D.C. This isn't some regular card, it's the end of a 20-year run, and WWE is pricing it like a once-in-a-lifetime event. The top pick, called the WWE Champion Package, includes floor seats for the match, a private photo with John Cena, an exclusive Cena gift, and ringside photo spots. On top of that, you get prime seats to Undertaker Live the night before. Here's the real stunner. Row A, TV side, ringside, hits $11,500 per ticket. One row back, Row B, ramp side, costs $9,500, and Row E, ramp side, runs $6,500. For folks not looking to remortgage their home, regular seats start at $250 and climb to $3,000. WWE hasn't spilled all the details on the premium perks yet, but they're counting on fans flooding in to give Cena a proper send-off. The 16-time world champion's last bout will close out one of the longest winning streaks in company history, and crowds are already rushing to grab spots. If the prices say anything, it's that WWE knows how to cash in on memories, and Cena's exit is set to bring in a fortune. Would you drop big money to see John Cena's final match live? WWE's lack of planning for John Cena's farewell tour is atrocious. Inside sources recently ripped into John Cena's upcoming fight. The star lines up against AJ Styles at Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia. Styles and Cena have clashed in epic bouts before. They went at it during Money in the Bank and SummerSlam in 2016, then again at Royal Rumble 2017. As the Cenation leader wraps his goodbye tour, the WWE crowd craved one more showdown between these two icons. WWE slotted the match for the next premium live event, and since then, the Phenomenal One has fired off harsh promos at John Cena. On this week's Writing with Russo, the veteran writer fumed over the poor planning. He said the bout got thrown together just because fans kept asking for it. He pointed out WWE's first ideas fell apart when The Rock vanished after Elimination Chamber. But inside sources stressed that should have forced the creative team to dig deeper for stronger booking. I swear, it almost sickens me that they had absolutely no plan for Cena's farewell. They're pulling out this match from their backside because the internet wrestling community wants it, because it will be great wrestling. I will give them the benefit of the doubt. It is crystal clear something happened with The Rock. Cena turned heel, Rock never showed up again. So there's no question something went south. Listen, you can't plan on something going south, he continued. That's when you go to plan B. Especially if plan A goes south, you're gonna put extra effort on plan B. So we've seen them turn Cena back babyface for no reason, no nothing. And now, in his farewell tour with 6 dates or something, we're booking him in good wrestling matches. That's atrocious. That is absolutely atrocious. John Cena and AJ Styles will clash in what could turn into a quick classic. It'll be a thrill to watch how John Cena holds up after his rough beatdown against Brock Lesnar. Bret Hart's criticism of Triple H as a WWE wrestler addressed. Triple H's time in the WWE ring got called out after Bret Hart threw shade at his in-ring talent. Kevin Nash, who's faced both stars, thinks the Hitman gets misread a lot. Hart's real-life beef with Triple H heated up after word got out that the game knew about the notorious Montreal screwjob at Survivor Series 1997 beforehand. During an Inside the Ropes Q&A, the Canadian legend stirred things up by saying WWE's chief content officer never had a standout match. Though Nash is tight with Triple H, the former WWE champion stood up for Hart on the latest Click This podcast. Paul, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels were both in on that screwjob if it wasn't a work. See, people weren't there then. Bret was our guy. Like, when Hulk Hogan left, man, Bret was the guy that kind of carried the company until Vince McMahon could kind of put the pieces in place. Bret was super over, and he was a good champion. Bret Hart nabbed the WWE Championship 5 times and holds the rare honor of being a 3-time Hall of Famer in the company's history. After Hulk Hogan split from WWE in 1993, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels stepped up as 2 of the top solo acts. Kevin Nash added that Hart never shied away from sticking around after shows to connect with his diehard fans. Roman Reigns has no credible rivals. Inside sources recently spilled on who could step up to Roman Reigns. The former world champion roared back to Raw this week. The Usos took on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed of the Vision in a wild tornado tag team match. The fight turned into a chaotic brawl with all 4 guys throwing down outside the ring. Reed and Breaker seemed ready to seal the win, but then Roman Reigns hit the scene. With the crowd going wild, the OTC swung in with a steel chair to get even with the Vision. On this week's Legion of Raw, inside sources said WWE has no real foes lined up for the OTC. They pointed out that even if Roman was back full-time, the creative team lacks solid rivals for him. The veteran insider argued Brock Lesnar is the only one on the roster with the juice to match Roman's star power. In my mind, it's over. Think about this for a second. He's making a movie. We bring him back. Okay, we get it. We've seen it a million times. I'm gonna ask you one simple question. Say you bring Roman Reigns back full-time for argument's sake. Who are you putting him in an angle with, bro? Outside of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, who are you putting Roman Reigns in an angle with? Drew McIntyre? Are we going to go to Roman and Drew again? Who are you going to put this guy in an angle with to make it mean something? Roman's comeback gave the Usos a big boost to top Reed and Breaker. It'll be a thrill to watch how WWE sets up the OTC in the weeks heading into Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia. Why Roman Reigns ignored Jimmy Uso. One of the biggest moments from this week's WWE Raw had fans buzzing when Roman Reigns brushed off Jimmy Uso and only hyped up Jey Uso during his comeback. Sam Roberts thinks this could stem from the original tribal chief losing trust in Jimmy, seeing him as the weak spot among the trio. Reigns stormed back yet again to save Jey and Jimmy from a post-match beatdown by the Vision's Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. After handling the pair, Roman Reigns went straight to Jey, firing him up. But what stood out was Reigns ignoring Jimmy Uso, who stood off to the side watching. Fans are now whispering that this might kick off a heel turn for Jimmy. On his Not Sam Wrestling podcast, Sam Roberts said Roman Reigns might have lost faith in Jimmy Uso these past few weeks. The Raw recap host added that Reigns could be taking charge by pairing with Jey Uso and pushing Jimmy aside. What is the difference here? I think Roman Reigns is jumping in to save Jey because he doesn't think Jimmy can do it. Roman and Jey can beat Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Jimmy and Jey apparently cannot. What's the difference? Jimmy Uso. And I think that is what we're looking at. That's what you're going to see. On a recent Busted Open radio, Bully Ray shared his wish to see the Bloodline's inner drama lift Jimmy up in WWE. Ray feels the 40-year-old star deserves the same shot to shine as his brother Jey Uso has gotten. What I want to see is Jimmy Uso getting the same opportunities. I want to see Jimmy be put into the story now as the star and not a co-star. I want to see Jimmy flourish and thrive the same way Jey Uso has. Dudley said. Jimmy's been dropping subtle hints of family tension on social media, fueling talk that he might break away from the group soon. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso betray Jimmy Uso. The WWE crowd roars for Roman Reigns whether he's on TV or not. He stormed back on the latest Raw to back his cousins, the Usos, in another clash with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. After smashing Breaker with chair shots, Reigns hugged Jey Uso and spoke about their mission being all that counts. Through it all, he barely glanced at Jimmy Uso. Jimmy looked visibly upset by the snub. Jey's twin isn't the only one sour on how the tribal chief's acting. Roman Reigns could face these 4 fallout moments for steering Jey against Jimmy. Jimmy Uso wears his heart on full display. He's the emotional, fun-loving piece of the OG bloodline. He was the one begging Reigns for backup before last year's War Games. Jimmy's also aired his gripes about Jey's new attitude these past months. Families bicker all the time, and bloodline members drift in and out, but usually return when it matters. If Roman doesn't wise up to how his focus on Jey looks, Jimmy might bolt or flip against him. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns have scrapped over who's boss before, like in Hell in a Cell and at Tribal Combat in SummerSlam 2023. Reigns came out on top both times. The bloodline once picked Solo Sikoa as the tribal heir for when the tribal chief steps down. But with Solo going rogue while Reigns was off TV, that plan shifted. The head of the table's now molding Jey Uso as the family's next leader. That move could bite him if Jey finally overtakes his cousin. Roman soaked up the glory, cheers, and perks of being the tribal chief. For WWE to move on when he leaves, someone else has to step up. The Rock once backed Roman Reigns as the tribal chief, but he's always seen himself as the family's top dog and WWE's king, with names like the Great One, the People's Champion, and the Final Boss. If The Rock spots the tension between Jey and Roman, he might show up on TV. His appearances always make waves no matter what goes down. He last went after Cody Rhodes' soul, but didn't follow through. The Rock backed Reigns again after he beat Solo Sikoa in Tribal Combat in January. The Final Boss could turn on his cousin to crown Jey Uso as the new tribal chief, setting up the long-awaited one-on-one clash between the Great One and the head of the table. Cody Rhodes has been a key player in the Bloodline saga. He took the undisputed WWE Championship from Roman Reigns. Even without the title, the original tribal chief acts like he owns the place. Cody helped Jey step out from Roman's shadow, pushing his move to Raw after WrestleMania 40. The two won tag team gold and stayed tight. If Jimmy sees Roman's manipulation, others, like Rhodes, must see it too. The American Nightmare, who's always called Jey a close friend and saved him plenty, could call out his rival, leading to a big third showdown between the two huge stars.